So today I really want to talk about that growth and give you kind of specific examples of, Lindsey, let's say 8 years ago, 6 years ago to Lindsey now, and just how I'm showing up differently for this relationship. I think for a long time, I was caught in a loop of patterns and beliefs that just kept me attracting the same type of guy. And so I know that the work that I've done over the years, especially in this last year, holy fuck, has truly set me up to magnetize someone as dynamic, loving, respectful, faith-filled, and just dreamy as my dude. So, man, oh man, he's listening. So this is cute. All right, I want to start. We're gonna make this a shorty. It's gonna be about 30 minutes. So hang tight. So Lindsey, when she was like 24, I was always feeling within relationships super dissatisfied. And that dissatisfaction would eventually shut me down. And from there, the relationship would just kind of fall apart, one log at a time. And I realized that I was unfairly comparing my partners to an unrealistic ideal. Maybe what I saw in movies, what my dad told me I deserved, countless other comparisons that just didn't set myself up, the relationship up for success. And I really wasn't honoring my own intuition, my own desires when it came to a relationship. In your 20s, at least for me, it was all about going outside of myself to find the answers. So when I would do that, I would get the answer and then I would compare it to him. And I'm like, he doesn't measure up. So they were always, these guys were always falling flat when they probably weren't flat, but they were falling flat. So rude. I'm sorry for anyone that I dated back then. If you might be listening, I doubt it. But what I realized is that I was focusing on the lack, what I didn't have in the relationship, and what you focus on expands. We know this, it's science. And it just didn't give the relationship an opportunity to progress and expand and evolve. I was like, no, doesn't measure up. Which was just so rude. I'm sure I wasn't a freaking peach either. I'm sure I had a lot to work on, but the point is that I was focusing on it. And what I learned through therapy and other modalities of healing and really just being with myself is that the comparison that I was doing when I was comparing my partner to someone else or an ideal or a story that someone told me, it was such a mirror to how I felt about myself and how I was comparing myself to other people and ideals. And at first it made me sad because I didn't realize that I was that critical. And when I started to, in the depths of my singleness, really observe that and understand that my inner world, that inner dialogue truly creates the lens through which I see the world and through which I interact with people. It was a really powerful observation and then practice to change that. And, awareness is everything here. And so once I became aware, I could not unknow it and I could not ignore it. So when I was dating, especially in LA, I remember hitting a point when I was, on the apps and dating people frequently that my perspective started to shift. And I would go on these dates, and instead of looking for things that were wrong or that I didn't want, I just I sat in like a neutral seat and allowed this person to show up as they are. And so my ability to honor them in that moment as they are, who they are, not wanting to change them, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more later, really helped heal that part of me that was always so judgmental of everything I was doing. Really helped me to honor who I am. And, even though during that time I didn't really meet anyone that I had a soul connection with, but that practice, oh my gosh, was so healing for me. So if you're out there and I dated you during that time, thank you so much. Because I'm standing before you now, or in front of this mic now, someone who genuinely, whether it's a romantic partner, a friend, a business partner, I am in the consistent practice of honoring whoever shows up in front of me, because I am committed to honoring how I show up every day and meeting myself where I am. And it's just brought so much light, levity, and clarity to my relationships, especially my romantic relationship. So it just feels so free when you drop that feeling of they could be better, or you drop that comparison loop. Do you relate out there? Like when you're entering a relationship or dating, or even maybe in a business relationship or friendship, you automatically think of the things that don't connect you or compare them to someone else. If that's you, I just urge you in that moment to ask, are you comparing yourself to others? Are you judging yourself when you could be a little bit kinder and just meet yourself where you are?
Thank you so much for tuning in to Morning Microdose by Almost 30.
We hope you enjoyed waking up.
As always, we encourage you to take what resonates and leave the rest. If you enjoyed this trip, tune into the full episode on the Almost 30 podcast. All episode information can be found in the show notes.
Make sure to subscribe, and if this becomes a part of your morning routine, be sure to share it with a friend. We have new inspiring doses Monday through Friday. Follow us on Instagram at Morning Microdose, and follow Almost 30 at Almost 30 Podcast.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the vortex.